A simple woman named Emily was humiliated, dismissed, ignored, and ultimately kicked out one afternoon at Oakwood Jewelers in downtown Manhattan until her billionaire husband, James Thompson, arrived and turned everything upside down. Emily, dressed in a plain navy blouse and comfortable sneakers, entered the store with a hopeful smile, determined to find a meaningful birthday gift for her younger sister, Hannah. The shimmering displays of diamond bracelets and intricate pendants mesmerized her, but the moment she stepped through the gleaming doors, she sensed the staff's cold gaze fixing on her. Instead of greeting her politely, a sales associate named Linda sneered when she noticed Emily's casual attire. With a dismissive wave, she invited Emily to browse the less expensive items at the far corner of the store. Ignoring the condescension, Emily proceeded to view a delicate rose gold necklace with a small diamond center she knew Hannah would cherish. However, Linda intercepted, her sarcastic smile radiating disdain. "That one costs far more than you realize. Perhaps you'd prefer something more suitable for your range?" Linda's eyes flicked over Emily's shoes, a mocking glint in her gaze. Emily tried to keep her voice steady, stating she wished to compare different styles before making a decision. Yet, Linda persisted, refusing to fetch any item she deemed beyond Emily's budget. When Emily insisted on seeing the rose gold piece, Linda exhaled dramatically and retrieved it with ill-concealed irritation. "Here," she snapped, slapping the necklace onto the counter. "But I'm warning you, it's well above what you'd expect to spend if you're just browsing." Another staff member, Tiffany, joined in. She stood behind Linda and huffed, "We're quite busy today, so if you're only looking, you'll need to step aside for our real customers." Emily's cheeks burned at the insinuation that she was not a genuine customer. She had enough resources to buy several of the items displayed, but she disliked flaunting her wealth or James's position as one of the city's most influential billionaires. Instead, she politely thanked them and tried to maintain her composure. As Emily moved to another counter, she overheard Linda muttering to Tiffany, "Some people just walk in to dream about a lifestyle they'll never have." They both let out a snicker. Emily shut her eyes, willing herself to remain calm. She reminded herself that revealing her identity or wealth wouldn't necessarily earn her real respect. She wanted these employees to treat all customers with decency, regardless of financial status. Yet, the hostility persisted. Tony, the store's hulking security guard, approached her abruptly, demanding to see inside her canvas bag. His deep voice rumbled with suspicion. "We have surveillance footage of people attempting to pocket valuables before. We can't take any chances." Emily felt her pulse quicken. She had never been accused of theft in her life, yet her appearance, so apparently unremarkable, had immediately branded her as suspect. Trying not to show her embarrassment, she opened her bag to reveal only her wallet, phone, and a small notebook. Tony rummaged through it, then gave her a disdainful nod before walking away, leaving Emily feeling violated and humiliated. Finally, Linda snapped at her. "Look, if you can't afford anything, you'll need to leave. We don't offer free tours. We're a high-end jewelry store." Emily felt her heart pounding. Despite her patient demeanor, she was on the verge of tears from the unrelenting hostility. Even a few other customers, dressed in designer outfits, threw pitying or amused glances her way. She tried to explain that she was here to make a purchase, but Linda just crossed her arms and shook her head, repeating that Emily was wasting their time. Looking around, Emily realized no one planned to stand up for her. Linda waved Tiffany over, and together they escorted Emily to the door. Emily's voice trembled slightly as she tried to speak. "You're making a mistake. I came here to buy a gift, and you treated me like a criminal." Linda scoffed. "Come back when you can actually buy something." With that, they pushed her outside, practically slamming the door behind her. Emily stood on the sidewalk, feeling the autumn breeze chill her cheeks. Anger and hurt battled within her, but she refused to break down. She despised scenes of public humiliation, yet she knew deep down that it wasn't just about her. It was about a systemic problem. People were judged instantly by their wardrobe, complexion, or assumed social class. Brushing away an angry tear, she pulled out her phone and decided to call James. Her husband always told her to reach him any time, no matter how trivial the issue. She felt this was anything but trivial. James answered on this first ring. His deep, reassuring tone alleviated some of her distress. "Emily, is everything okay? You sound upset?" His keen perception caught the slight tremor in her voice. She summarized the incident, downplaying her own hurt so as not to alarm him. But his tone hardened. "Which jewelry store exactly?" She told him. Without missing a beat, he said, "I'm a few blocks away. Stay put. I'm coming." Sensing James's controlled anger, Emily almost felt relieved. She didn't want vengeance, but she wished for someone to witness how callous the staff had been. Within minutes, James arrived in a sleek car, stepping out in his tailored suit. He was tall, dark-haired, and carried an aura of confident authority that caused passers-by to do double takes. As soon as he saw Emily, he embraced her gently, looking into her eyes to confirm she was all right. Then, in a quiet voice, he said, "Let's go back in." Though part of her dreaded returning to the place of her humiliation, she trusted James's calm, measured approach. She nodded. They walked arm in arm to the door of Oakwood Jewelers. The same overhead chime sounded as they entered. Immediately, Linda and Tiffany spotted James in his impeccable clothing and altered their demeanors. Suddenly, they were all bright smiles and polite greetings. "Good afternoon, sir," Linda said, her eyes sparkling with the thrill of a potential high-roller client. "How can we help you today?" She cast only a fleeting glance at Emily, as though Emily were invisible. James's expression remained impassive. "My wife was just here, trying to buy something. She was thrown out. Care to explain?" Linda blinked, her polished facade cracking. "Your wife?" Tiffany joined, her voice quieter now. "We must have had a misunderstanding." James pressed his lips into a thin line. "Indeed, you did. You treated her like a trespasser because you assumed she couldn't afford anything. You searched her bag as though she were a thief. Then you refused to let her buy the item she wanted." A few customers paused, sensing tension in the store. Miss Carlson, the manager, noticed the commotion and hurried over. She cut an imposing figure with her severe haircut and expensive suit. "What seems to be the matter?" she asked, trying to maintain a polite tone. James calmly explained what Emily had gone through. Ms. Carlson shot Linda and Tiffany a sharp glare, then attempted to placate James. "Sir, we sincerely apologize if there was any mistake. Perhaps there was a misunderstanding about your wife's intentions." James's gaze swept the store, noticing the curious eyes of other shoppers. "There was no misunderstanding. Your staff made it clear they didn't believe she could afford anything here. They humiliated her. I want you to understand how unacceptable that is." Sensing James's unmistakable authority, Ms. Carlson signaled Linda and Tiffany to step back. She spoke in clipped tones, trying to control the damage. "We value every customer. Please allow us to make amends. We'll offer you the finest selection and a special discount." James shook his head. "I'm not interested in discounts. My wife wanted to buy a piece of jewelry here, and she was mistreated. Now that you see me in a suit and tie, you're rolling out the red carpet. That says everything." Ms. Carlson paled. "Sir, James held up a hand. "Let me make one thing clear. This is my wife, Emily Thompson. I'm James Thompson. Maybe you've heard the name?" A murmur rippled through the store as people realized they were looking at the James Thompson, the billionaire whose name frequently appeared in business journals. Linda's complexion turned ghostly, and Tiffany stared down at the floor. Tony, the security guard, also appeared, fidgeting nervously. James continued, his tone now quieter, but no less intense. "We don't want special treatment because of our money. We want fair treatment for every customer, regardless of what they look like. You disrespected my wife. That's inexcusable." Ms. Carlson frantically apologized, promising that it would never happen again, and insisted that she and her staff had only been acting out of caution. James shook his head. Caution is one thing. Arrogance is another. Now, if my wife still wants to purchase the item she came for, I'll allow you to complete the sale. Otherwise, we'll be leaving. Tension hung thick in the air. Emily, who had remained mostly silent, finally stepped forward. I still want that rose gold necklace, she said calmly, meeting Linda's gaze. The one you wouldn't let me see properly. Linda swallowed. Her earlier sarcasm vanished. With trembling hands, she retrieved the necklace and laid it delicately on the velvet counter, stammering that it was truly exquisite. Emily examined it once more, her heart swelling with both triumph and sorrow. It was a shame she had to endure such harassment to reach this point. Nevertheless, she was committed to the gift for Hannah. When Linda recited the price, nearly $8,000, she almost choked on the words. Without hesitation, Emily handed over her black titanium credit card. As Linda ran it through, an eerie hush fell in the store, as if everyone held their breath. The transaction was approved instantly, causing Linda to whisper a muted apology. Emily accepted her receipt and carefully tucked the necklace in its box. No trace of gloating on her face. She simply thanked Linda with quiet dignity, leaving the associate to grapple with her own embarrassment. Ms. Carlson tried to salvage the store's reputation by gushing about their dedicated attention to customer satisfaction, but James silenced her with a single measured look. You might want to teach your staff that real satisfaction comes from respect, he said, not from kowtowing to someone you think is wealthy. With that, he offered Emily his arm, and they walked out together. Outside, the sun was bright, and the bustle of Manhattan life resumed around them. Emily inhaled deeply, relieved to be free of the store's claustrophobic hostility. James turned to her, gently rubbing her shoulder. Are you all right? She nodded, a small tear escaping despite her composure. Yes, I'm okay. Thank you for standing up for me. James squeezed her hand, his expression full of warmth. Anytime, he said. I just hope they learn their lesson. Nobody deserves that kind of treatment. They strolled down the street together, the cool breeze on their faces. Emily felt a rush of emotions: anger, gratitude, pride in James, and a tinge of sorrow that prejudice could run so deep. Yet, she also felt vindicated. She had maintained her calm, her dignity intact. And maybe, just maybe, Oakwood Jewelers would rethink how they approached customers in the future. Word traveled fast among the store's employees. Tony was reprimanded for his overreach. Linda and Tiffany faced strict warnings in their files, and Ms. Carlson alerted the regional manager about the incident. The chain's corporate offices soon buzzed with the news that James Thompson had threatened to pull his influential network away from supporting any brand associated with such discrimination. For a week straight, staff meetings centered on the fiasco. Policies about customer respect were re-emphasized, and Linda was reassigned temporarily to a less public role until she could prove she had learned from her mistake. Emily confided in her mother about the ordeal. Over tea at her mother's cozy brownstone, Emily recounted every detail. Her mother, a gentle soul with a history of advocating for fairness, was outraged. I raised you to stand up for yourself without stooping to their level, she said, patting Emily's hand. I'm proud of how you handled that. And I'm glad James reminded them that kindness shouldn't depend on appearances. Hannah, blissfully unaware of the store drama, adored her new rose gold necklace when Emily presented it on her birthday. It's beautiful, she exclaimed, hugging Emily tight. Thank you so much. You have no idea how perfect this is. Emily watched her sister's joy, her own heart lightening. She didn't reveal the hassle behind the purchase, preferring to let Hannah associate the gift with love, not conflict. In the end, Oakwood Jewelers made sweeping changes. Ms. Carlson was let go quietly after corporate concluded she had failed in her leadership duties. Her inability to control staff behavior had cost the store its reputation and several major clients. Tiffany, facing mounting pressure and a tarnished name, chose to resign. She struggled to find work elsewhere, her attitude following her into every interview. Meanwhile, Linda, after months of demotion and lost income, was eventually terminated. Her name had become a cautionary tale in the industry. Not long after, whispers surfaced that Linda had filed for bankruptcy, unable to recover from the career fallout. The ones who judged and mocked a simple woman paid dearly, not through revenge, but through consequences they brought upon themselves. And so, the story of a simple woman kicked out of a jewelry store, only to reveal she was the wife of a billionaire, served as a lesson for everyone involved. It revealed how easily prejudice can take hold, but also how swiftly justice can prevail when truth is laid bare. Most of all, it illustrated that one's outer appearance never tells the full tale of their worth or their capability. Some of the wealthiest souls in this world don't wear flashy clothes or demand special treatment. They simply live by compassion and grace. So, remember, never judge a book by its cover. You never know if the person standing in front of you, looking for a special gift, dressed in modest attire, is the spouse of a billionaire, or simply someone who deserves the same respect as anyone else. Thank you for listening. And if you found this story meaningful, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more engaging tales.